wanna be free when my people to prosper and hold it down. Don't you sit and wait, contemplating on a revolution. The time is now. I just wanna be free. 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 Can't you see? I just wanna be free.
Okay. Another episode of Things I Wish I Knew About Money podcast. I'm your host, Camille Smith. And today, folks, for the last week of Financial Literacy Month, I thought I would bring on a friend, an old time friend from RH King. So, this is about to be a reunion and everything. And I just wanted to give him his flowers before, him try to cuss me out and things for not not wanting to do this earlier. I'm joking. Everyone, welcome Kenneth, aka was it Top Dollar Toppin?
AKA, man, top dollar talking, man.
Woy, welcome, sir. Um, it's been a long time, and
100%.
first I wanted to give you your flowers because ever so often I do attend your webinars,
Okay.
and they're really good. I'm always like, whoa, watch Kenneth. And any opportunity that I can like support you, I always try my best to support. And even like in high school, when we were going door to door
For
with
was
the
that
paint.
that was wild.
So it's very inspiring to see you still, going door to door trying to
Right.
get those sales and everything. So I just want to big up yourself. Beep, 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 beep. And for the folks that don't know you, even though they see you on billboards, bus stops and everything, tell them who Kenneth is.
I have no idea, man.
Oh
I'm
my
joking. It's not.
gosh.
Yeah, you know what? It's been a crazy journey. I mean, right now I am really about creating more entrepreneurs through real estate, right? Entrepreneurs through real estate and teaching success strategies in that element. I've been doing real estate though for 13 years now. It's been
Jeez.
I know it's been a journey. It's crazy. It's been 13
Wow.
years doing real estate. Yeah, absolute journey. I mean, stats wise, like top 1%, all that good stuff. So it's been a great ride to that level of business. So super excited about that. I'm
Mhm.
also the founder of Harvest, which is a sales performance platform that's just designed to help real estate agents make more money. So that's in the App Store as well. Doing
Okay.
pretty well there in the App Store. So again, it's really designed about helping agents make more money and succeeding. So I've definitely elevated or moved also into the tech space. And about 90% of my real estate is 80% is done in the Durham region and 20% on the outside.
Okay. So, shit, I didn't even know it was 13 years. It feels like it's like shorter, but obviously I've seen you've been doing it for
I'm
quite a
flats.
while. So, wow, 13 years.
I was licensed in 2010.
Okay. And how did you fall into real estate?
Mm, so I always wanted to get into real estate in general from a standpoint of like selling houses or even flipping houses.
Yeah.
So I always knew that I wanted to get my license, and I realized that even if and I didn't really get it first for it to be my career. It was
Yeah.
more just to be and making money through real estate. So that's why I originally got it. It was just to do that.
Mhm.
And then I was in the corporate space, trying to climb the corporate ladder. It just wasn't working too good for me, so I just decided to quit and then jumped into real estate. It was easier at that time as well because I had no responsibilities, no wife, no kids. I lived in my parents' basement, so I realized that if I was going to do make the jump, might as
Mhm.
well now.
Okay. True. So that was you took basically a leap of faith to say
100%.
like, yo,
Yeah.
you know what? Fund this corporate world. I'm going to
For
do
sure.
this.
For sure.
And with all the challenges or achievements that you've had, because actually, big up yourself because you're what, 1% top GTA real estate. Oh, burr, 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 burr. And how did that feel? Like, okay, with that progress, how did you start from the bottom, like a
Mm-hmm.
Drake, into being the top 1% GTA real estate?
Yeah. Well, I mean, how did I do it? You mean?
Yeah, like what did Kenneth do to get, over that hump of learning all the ins and outs of real
Right.
estate?
Oh man, that's a tough question, to be honest. I mean, how did I do it? It's more so of it's just more of just it's a contact sport, right? So very
Mhm.
early on, I realized that you just got to go out there, talk to as much people as you possibly can. So for me, my strategy was door knocking. So
Mm,
I just went around the place. I just kind of started door knocking all over the place. But one of the unique things that I did is I just stayed. I sold one house,
mhm,
and then the neighbor was like, "Hey, I need to sell too." I'm
mhm.
like, "All right." So then I had two of my first sales signs on the same street. Then the other neighbor was like, "Oh my goodness, you did so well here. Can you sell mine?" I'm like, "Sure." And then I had three on the street. But when you have three on the street,
Mhm.
the community will see that. They'll when
Exactly.
they're driving by, they'll be like, "Whoa, like, who is that guy?" So I became a mini celebrity within that little pocket of like 300 houses, right?
Yeah.
And we would walk, and then I realized when they look at you in a high regard,
Mhm.
doesn't matter what culture they are, whether they're Indian or Chinese or white or black, it doesn't matter. They just
Mhm.
look at you as the guy. So I
Okay.
realized that even though there's a lot of realtors at competition, it didn't matter because they just viewed Kenneth as the guy in that little pocket. I
That
wasn't
area.
in
Yeah.
that area, and I ran with it. And in that little pocket, I probably sold like 20 houses,
Jeez.
right? Right.
Gee.
So you just fan out from there, right? So I
Yeah.
realized that what I did, not really uniquely, because
Mhm.
that strategy of it's called geographical farming,
Okay.
where you don't go and say, "Hey, I'm the realtor all across the GTA." Where you don't go and proactively say, "Hey, I can help anyone. I am Brampton, Vaughan, Toronto,
Yeah.
Markham." You pretty much are just like, "Hey, I if you live in Durham,
Mhm.
Jax." It's
Say
called
that again.
geographical farming. It's called
Geographical farm.
geographical farming. There you go. There's a tip for all the
Okay.
agents. You know, there was
Cool.
geographical farm, but no, it's just from a logical standpoint. Really,
Mhm.
you don't need to you don't have to be the expert everywhere. If you're just the expert in a small pocket where everyone just thinks you're the greatest, that's all you need. And
Mhm.
I really leveraged that tool. And what I realized is going on stages and talking to probably over 1,000 realtors
Yeah.
over the past year, I realized that only about 13%
Mhm.
of active agents proactively say that I use geographical farming as a strategy. So it's not heavily used, but
Mhm.
for me, it was a no-brainer because um, making people nothing beats being able to go to a presentation to compete against other agents
Yeah.
when you have sold so many homes in front of the faces of the people in the community. So they couldn't compete with me. They were all like, "Yeah, I'm going with Ken." Why? Just because. I trust him. It's a trust thing. No, if you're eating breakfast,
Mhm.
in the morning with your husband or wife, look across the street. Oh,
Yeah.
Ken just sold that home. Is it talk about it?
Mm.
Oh, let's hit the market. Next 2 days. Oh, it's sold. Over asking, 100 grand. Wow, Ken's okay. Then next month. Oh, the next one that Ken has. Oh,
It's
that's
just
sold in a week. 100 over asking. Oh, he did it again. That guy's on fire. Third time. That's 1 year. Then the next
mhm.
they're not selling yet, but they see you did it the year after, and the
So
year after.
that's
It just registers. They're just like, okay, well, when it's time to sell, I'm going with Ken. Why? Just I've seen him do it. So now when when you said realtor comes around, hey, can I get your business? They're like, sure, you can come in for the presentation. We'll see what you do. I'll walk in and they'll be like, yeah, I can. We're going with you. I know you are. So no, really, right? And then when you take that methodology
yeah.
and you start to expand your territory,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't only have 100 people that know you, or you don't only have a small pocket of people that know you in a community.
Yeah.
It goes to 300, to 500, and 1,000, and then you've sold so many homes around the community where they just know you. And
Yeah.
there's not too many guys that look like me doing real estate at a high volume in the area that I'm in. So just like, yeah, there's that's the black guy that does real estate. One, I'm the only one. It's true. It's a fact. It's like, yeah, only black guy talks real estate. It's so
Oh
funny. Like,
man.
I would be like at nighttime one time, like it was
Mhm.
nighttime, and I was just asking someone in the community a question, right? And then and I was just like, it's just pitch black, by the way, it's dark. So that doesn't really do me too much justice, but I'm looking out the window and I'm like, hey, ask you a question, and they can tell they're like looking nervous. Like, who is
Yeah.
that? It's Kenneth. Oh, Kenneth? Is that Kenneth Toppin? I'm like, yeah. Like, okay. Walk up to the car because because they just know me. So that's powerful stuff. And
Yes.
that was what I was able to really leverage to
Hmm.
be able to just kind of grow more and just get more listings. And yeah.
So and then there's a bit of a brand type of thing with that as well, right? Because with the
Yeah,
with at least them seeing their for sale sign or um they're like, okay, other than saying that black guy, they're like, okay, we see this guy's doing big things in this area. Yo,
right.
let's just give him a call. And he keeps knocking on our doors and stuff. Gosh.
Yeah, I mean, the brand that I definitely built was he gets the job done and sells homes for top dollar.
Hmm.
Like, it was just a fact, meaning like they would see that, like, whenever you own a home
Hmm.
and you see another home selling in the area, you always want the homes to be worth more, and you're
True.
watching. And then when you see that Ken sells something, they're like, wow, he got a lot of money. The response was always, oh, wow, he got a lot of money, more than what they expected based off of last prior sales. It was
Hmm.
always like a better number, right? And
Hmm.
what ended up happening is when you do that so often, the vibe in the community is, no, like he gets the job done and he sells homes for top dollar. It was a fact. Now, if you
Hmm.
go into the community and you sell homes under the value because
Mm.
you're taking lower offers, or you're not staging it the right way, you're not presenting it the right way, and you're just statistically getting less, the community will also know that, and they'll say, well, then they
They're
won't
like,
use you. So yeah, so your branding, like, what is your brand, right? So the brand that I have
mhm,
in the community in the Durham region is definitely, no, Ken is a strong agent. Now, whether they, obviously not everyone uses me clearly, right? Which is fine, right? But at the same time, no, they have aunts, they have uncles, they have there's
true.
so much reasons why people just don't use a person that they know can get the job done. But
Mhm.
at least they do know that I can get the job done at a high level.
Okay. And the one thing I notice is you have a set team that comes through, and like I always see, I
Same
always
people,
like seeing you like go through the homes, and he's
right?
like, okay, here's the person that does the staging, and you always promote them, and that's like one thing I like. I'm like, you're always giving a shout out to the people that are
Part of
part
this,
of your team.
yeah.
And how did you? Because I know a team is very important when it
Mhm.
comes to having a lot of houses getting done. How did you find your team?
Uh, Well, you know what? My photo I can't even remember how I met my first. Like, he shot my second house in my career. The
Nice.
first guy I shot, he was just horrible. I'm like, yeah, you're trash. Like, I'm like, why are your angles so weird? Like, why is there a picture of like
Gosh.
the, yeah, this is weird pictures? I'm like, I can't use you ever again. And then the second home, I found, I think when his Google Ron, he came over, did a great job, and since
Yeah.
then I've had the same, like all my pictures are
Mhm.
shot by the same guy,
Wow.
right? For the last like 13 years, right? It's the same guy. It's literally been the same guy. And then my stage, or I have a couple based
Hmm.
on the house that I'm selling and based
Yeah.
on what needs to be done. I have about two that I use, but I do have one stager that I could say that has staged. I would say about like 80% of my properties, Jacqueline. And
Nice.
I found her from a referral from another realtor. And when I was getting into the business, she referred her friend, and then I started using Jacqueline, and then I've been using her for a long time and still to this day. Then my
Okay.
videographer, I like he's a realtor that turned videographer, so he changed
Interesting. So
gears.
he knows the niche.
He knows the niche very well, very very well actually. So there's that, and I have my
Mhm.
videographer, and then my cleaners, like they're always changing here and there. All these women cleaners are. I'm sorry.
You're so, you're
Like,
so.
that's a high turnover. No, the cleaning is a job where it's either you do a good job or you don't. Sometimes,
Mhm.
are you
Yeah.
available? And a lot of most of them are doing it as a part time hustle just to get some extra cash. So
Yeah.
sometimes it's not available. I need you now when work. Okay, so you have to kind of shift
Have
around.
a list.
Yeah, I have
Okay.
a list of like actual cleaners. Some main ones, but
Mhm.
I definitely have some more a rotation in the cleaning aspect.
Well,
Um,
yeah. If you have like, because if you had three being sold at one time, oh my gosh, I could imagine like, yo, Kenneth, you have another one?
yeah,
Like, like, yo, Kenneth, you're gonna have to get an ex cleaner because
100%.
we can't do them all, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, and how did you, now that you're in
Right.
tech world, because I noticed that you're at, we saw each other at B Future, and I was like, of course Kenneth would be here because he's in tech now.
Yeah, for sure.
How is being in tech, and how are you able to pivot into tech actually with real estate?
Oh man, tech has been a journey. It's
Mm,
it's been a it's been a massive learning curve, right? It's just you're
yeah.
just aligning yourself up with the right people. So I do have a partner as
Okay.
well. So it's not only me, I have a partner that's my guy in tech, and
Mhm.
I bring the real estate, a lot of the real estate knowledge. He brings a lot of the tech knowledge as well, and we come together to create a great project. But we came together because we just saw a gap in
Mhm.
the real estate industry when it came down to that's really helping agents from
Yeah.
beginning to end for the entire sales process from lead acquisition all the way down to closing the sale and booking appointments. So we created this platform really to help agents just think about lead generation, right?
Mm,
And the different ways to generate leads and how can a platform help you with that process and track your numbers. So it's a great it's a great tool. But yeah, it was a pivot because we saw a need for it. We
mhm.
have like over 1,000 agents now across North
Nice.
America that are using it. And it's in the App Store. So for any realtors that are listening, you can definitely go into the App Store, download it, Android, Apple,
Oh,
and
because I was about to say, I was like, it better not only be an Apple.
yeah,
You better give us Android people some respect.
for sure, for sure. So it's on, yeah, it's on Android. It's a free download as well.
Okay, and she said 1,000, and it's nationwide, Canada. Are you thinking of bringing it to the States or
It is in the States
globally?
right now. It's
Okay.
in the States, yeah. So we have a couple people in the
Sorry, big timer. I forgot you're a celebrity.
No, we have a lot of Americans are actually using it. Yeah, a
Okay.
lot of Americans are using it. Yeah, for sure.
Nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Global product.
Hey. So when are you bringing it to Trinidad?
What? Trinidad. There's no organized real estate. Am I hating on Trinidad?
You
No,
better
but
not. Your
yeah,
mom will come for you.
exactly. No, but it's obviously the focus is North America for now. It will be going out later, but our focus definitely is going to be North America. Yeah,
Okay. Okay. See, and I'm glad that you're able to find a gap when it came to like people like leads
yeah,
and getting, getting the opportunity to get the sale.
right.
So, and it's always good to have partnership that's able like, okay, let me stay in my lane.
Oh,
You
for sure.
got the tech side
Yeah,
and I'll do the real estate side. So let's just form together. So I do see the value in
In that.
having different folks that have different are experience in different industries to come together and form something great.
Hmm.
And I know that I sent you an article.
You did.
I'm really concerned about the real estate market.
But
And should Torontonians be afraid, or is this the name of the game?
really depends on who we're talking about, right? Are we talking about renters? Are we talking about homeowners? Are we talking about buyers? People
True.
that bought pre-construction, like that. People that are walking away from that article you sent me.
Yeah, okay. So, okay, folks. So there's an article
Yeah.
because I've been hearing like the debate whether to get pre-construction or was it a resale?
Right.
Yeah, I just do personal finance. I'm not in the real estate world. But so I'm seeing the pros and cons about them. But like I know there's certain folks that like they don't have the capital right now, so they're comfortable with getting the pre-construction, so they're able to,
Yeah.
5 years from now
Yeah.
get a little boost, get their feet wet. But
Right.
what is the issues that's happening right now with that?
The loaded question. So I mean, the biggest problem happening right now is that people that purchased pre-construction houses like 2 years ago or even a year ago, right?
Mhm.
The problem is that they purchased it in 2022,
Okay.
early 2022, 2021, but the market is back. The market is at 2020 rates right now. So the
Mm,
market is down, all right? So because the market is down, the values are not there.
mhm.
And the problem is that you would have purchased the home like a lot of these guys like up in Vaughan. I'm not sure where that example was, but you went out and we'll see. It was either way. Where was that example?
Hold on.
Yeah,
It was. But I bet it is in Bond actually. Oh no, it's not loading. Um, no, it's just saying GTA actually. It's not even saying which area.
yeah.
It doesn't say.
It's all right. So yes, either way. But the main thing is that people are buying. They would have bought that home for say $1.5 million like a year ago, but the problem is that the bank is appraising it today, and they're
Mm,
saying it's worth 1.2. So like they're saying it's worth 1.2, and there's that gap there,
yeah.
right? And so they have to come up with an extra $300,000 on top of yeah. So say they bought it for 1.5, the bank's appraising it for 1.2, right?
Mm-hmm.
That
Go
actually
down.
means that they have to come up with an additional $300,000 on top of the deposit they already made of $300,000, right? So they just don't have but that's the problem is like their bank is not giving them the money that they need, so they have to find it. But the problem is if you have to go and find it, you got to go and borrow it. But if you're
Yeah.
going to borrow it off of someone
Hmm.
who's going to loan you the money, right?
Yeah.
And the rates that they're going to people will borrow it, loan you the money, but the rates are going to be like 10%. So interest only, you know what I mean? These rates, right? So the
Yeah.
problem is like to borrow $300,000 at like 10% is
Mm,
30. It's 30,000 divided by 12 is $2,500 a month extra on top of the mortgage that you were already getting. So your mortgage, if you can only afford to spend like 5K a month, you
yeah.
were anticipating that your mortgage is now going to be like 5K plus an additional 2,500, right?
7,500.
You can't,
Jeez.
you can't afford it. So, long story short,
Yeah.
people don't have the money and the means to come up with that shortfall. So what they're doing, they just have to walk away. And when they walk away, the developer is not going to give them back their deposit. The developer is going to keep it. So they have no other choice. I mean, they want their deposit back, but they can't close it. They can't get the mortgage. That's the problem. They cannot get the mortgage when the market is tanking, or
Yeah.
when the market statistically is going down, like month
Hmm.
over month. It's actually
Yeah.
going like this.
Yeah.
the values aren't there, and
Ugh,
the banks are being smart with their appraisals. Yeah,
jeez. That's crazy because imagine losing like 300K
it's
and the
happening.
builders are like, okay. That no wonder I have seen the incidents where there's some houses that are being burnt down.
Of course, yeah. Coincidence, yeah, right.
I'm not telling ladies and gentlemen, I'm not saying if you're in that scenario, that's what you should do. But I guess when that happens, how is someone able to protect themselves from that actually happening? Because I feel like you would give them better
If the house
advice.
burns down,
No, not burned down.
oh, the
Like,
advice of what you got to do.
yeah,
Like you have the problem is like it's a hard situation because it depends on what the developer is doing. Like, are they going to allow you to walk away, or are they going to hold you liable? Because the problem is like you promised to give them 1.5 million bucks. They want that 1.5 mil,
yeah,
right? So the problem is like you promised them 1.5 million. So if they can only go and sell the home now for, I don't know, so $1 million, they're short half a million. So if
yeah.
your deposit was 300, you still owe them 200 grand. They can come after you in court, and they'll win that court case all day,
Jeez. So
right?
it's all about being mindful of what you can afford, really.
Well, I mean, when they bought the home, they knew they can afford it, but the appraised value came in lower. They weren't anticipating that. So there's
Fair.
nothing you can do about that. I recommend you closing it though, finding a way to close it,
Yeah,
because if you don't close it and they sue you, it'll cost you more.
true.
But the problem that they're in is that if they go and close it, they can't afford the mortgage, so they have to either close it and try to sell it.
Mm-hmm.
If they try to sell it, the values aren't there to get the property sold, so you're screwed either way. So you have to just walk away. Many people just have to, like, this is the year in real estate where even I'm like, gotta walk. What do you do? Like, there's like hand sometimes strategy done. Strategy
Yeah,
strategy is over. Like, what do you do? Like, I've had a family walk away from a house this year.
damn.
They can't afford it.
Mm-hmm.
They can't sell it. The value isn't there. So you
Yes,
can't afford the monthly mortgage.
yes.
You can't afford this. You can't sell it.
Mm-hmm.
So okay, banks like pay the mortgage. I can't afford them. I don't. They had to pay 13 grand a month. It's just some stupid number, right?
What?
Yeah, so dumb. No. Sorry, it's like 10 grand, but it's still a lot of money.
No, that's still a lot. 10 grand a month?
Exactly. So it's 10 grand a month. 10 grand a month. So the problem with that is they couldn't afford that. They
Yes.
for 7,000, which was still unaffordable, but they were still like stretching 10, but they just can't afford 10. So
Yeah.
they ended up just saying, and then they hired me to sell it. I'm like, listen, this thing's only going to sell for like 950, but they owe the bank like 1,050,000. So they cannot sell the house,
Jeez.
can't sell, and they can't afford it. So they just walked away from the house and just went to they went and rented out somewhere, and they
Mm-hmm.
literally just walked away from the house, and the bank just foreclosed it, and the bank took over, and that was it.
Wow. There's actually foreclosures in Canada?
It's
What?
happening now, yeah. Oh, now there is. Before it wasn't existing, but now you got banks that are the banks are coming. Yeah, because the banks are coming now. Yeah, it's not
Mm-hmm.
rampant, but it does
But
happen.
but it's not like in the States. And I remember that you mentioned on one of your stories about private mortgages. I like that one. I was like, wait a minute, Kenneth, you gotta explain this one. I don't
Yeah.
understand.
So a private mortgage is when you need money, right?
Hmm.
You, for example, you may say your parents own, and you own it.
Hmm.
One day you own it by yourself,
Yeah.
and it's worth $1 million, and it
Okay.
has and it's worth $1 million. There's no mortgage on it, so you have $1 million there.
Hmm.
Now you want access to it.
Correct.
Like, you don't want to sell the house, but you
Hmm.
just need money from the house because it's worth even 1.5. It's probably worth $2 million, right? Right. So it's worth 2 million bucks. You want it,
Hmm.
but you want to keep it. Now,
Yeah.
if you sell it, you'll get the 2 million bucks. But if you don't sell it and you want to borrow money from it, you have to pull money from it. But that means you have to go to the bank to qualify.
Hmm.
And the bank's not just going to give you, here's $1 million, Camille. Go. No, like, do you work? What's your credit score? Like, they're not just gonna give you $1 million just to have fun with it. You don't qualify. You don't
Yeah,
qualify to get money from your home. $1 million. Maybe you qualify for maybe a bit less,
but that's
but
my equity.
it's your equity. But you still have to qualify to get it out, right?
Okay.
So qualify. So the problem is if TD Bank, Scotiabank, RBC says no,
Hmm.
and you can't get the mortgage there, they say no.
Yeah.
And then there's other banks that are called B banks, like
Hmm.
they're not the major banks. And when the bank says no, you can go to those banks and they'll say yes in some cases. But
Okay.
sometimes even those banks are like no. So then your last bet is the private world, which is like some lawyer that has $1 million liquid cash that will give you what you want, but they'll
Yeah.
just charge you out your yin yang, right? They'll just charge you because the bank might, TD Bank may charge 5%,
Hmm.
lenders may charge say 7%, private guy may charge like say 12%, like say maybe like 11%, right?
Yikes.
Right. So that's
Yeah.
the world of privates right now. Sometimes you need to go to the private world because you need the money for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Now in the private world,
Hmm.
there's no rules. So if you want to borrow 100 grand, I can charge you 30. I can charge you whatever I want. Meaning that, okay, well, I'll give you 100 and you owe me back at the end of the day 130, 135,
Ab-
160, it is. It's whatever they want, right? It's their
yeah.
rule. It's a
Like,
wild, wild west out there. So I had a situation where someone was borrowing 60 grand but paying like 30 grand in fees. Like it should have been like you borrow 60, you're probably going to pay like maybe 3 grand in fees, but they were paying like so much money in fees. It was like, oh my god, stop it. Crazy. Just stop it. You know what I mean? Yeah.
so what advice would you give a person like that? I guess the what happened was they didn't really talk to you before going down that path.
But this situation, she before she signed the contract at like 20 grand fees on like 60,000 borrowing, I told her that that's crazy, and they dropped it to, I think 5,000. Oops, my bad. 10 grand out of nowhere. Oh, I'm like what? I'm like that's crazy. Yeah.
So ideally it's important for folks to reach out to you
Well,
before they make that
yeah.
drastic decision. Do you find like a percentage of individuals look towards that? Like, because I have it here like A lender, B lender, private mortgages. What percent? Let's say, I'm hoping
I,
it's.
I probably only I'll probably say maybe only 15-20% of people are in the private world. Probably only be to me 10 to 15%. It's not a big market. Most people are not in the private world, but
Mhm.
sometimes it's needed. I mean, sometimes you just need the money from your home, and there
Mm,
and a lot and they so there's it's definitely a necessary sub market for sure.
okay, fair enough. And the one thing that I noticed, and the one thing you do is you flood my emails.
Oh, dear.
That is the reason why I'm able to catch most of your webinars, because
Mm.
I'm like, oh shucks, Kenneth is having something. Whether it's on Facebook that I see it, or I see it on my email. So emails do work. Folks. You're
Personally write
flooding
all the emails for you.
lies. But the one that I noticed recently was that you wanted to technically give back to the community and to the youths, because
Right,
I have been noticing like on your Facebook that you've been, having people under your wing to
right.
push them forward to to be a real estate agent. So what's the program that you have coming up?
You know what? It's not so much a program. It's more so like a drop-in mastermind session
Okay.
where people can just literally just jump on to a call together and we
Hmm.
just talk, right?
Nice.
We just talk about what are you going through and
Mm,
what's going on in your life. What are you thinking about wanting to do?
hmm.
And have a conversation of how do you kind of succeed,
Okay.
right? Because
And
I'm
is it?
really, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
No,
it's
no,
free.
no.
Yeah, it's free because I'm really all about creating entrepreneurs, right? I'm very big on creating entrepreneurs. Obviously, I have my niche with this through real estate, but I'm my number one mission is to create more entrepreneurs, right?
Nice.
And help entrepreneurs become more successful. And again, my niche is through real estate, but I can definitely have a conversation that kind of can cater to any entrepreneurship market and success. A lot of the fundamentals of being an entrepreneur is the same whether you're doing it through real estate or not.
Mm-hmm.
My game plan is to get people together that want to, that know they have that passion to do it.
Yeah.
Not everyone wants to be an entrepreneur, but there are some people that know, like, it's like a really screaming voice that they want to do it. So I want to make sure that yeah, like yourself, like I gotta do it. Like Camille wants to be like, you want to work for yourself. So it's about really jumping onto that call, is talking about how do you do it.
Yeah.
A financial planner. Like I have a friend who's a financial planner, works for herself for full time. Okay, well maybe she can talk to someone else about, well, how did you do it and what advice do you have?
That's ideal because like as an entrepreneur, and I was talked about this the other day, it is a lonely road. And then when you're able to find like-minded folks,
Hmm.
they understand. So like you could like, push through and like have different ideas pushing through. And when does it start? Because I think you started one before, and then now you've brought this one, during our birthday month.
When's your birthday again?
Oh my gosh, December 12th, sir. I know yours is Boxing Day.
How do you remember these things?
I only remember December birthdays. December birthdays are easy to remember. Most of them, most of them. But
Yeah,
like,
I stopped. I thought
mm,
I did it as a program, but I
yes.
don't have time for a program.
Mm,
It's organization. I have all these great plans that I want to do. I'm like, what? It's just a lot of work, right?
yeah.
I realized, what's my capacity? Like my capacity is, you know what? Jump onto a call
Hmm.
every month, so you just
Yeah.
don't feel like you're alone, and then just ask questions and just get insight to conversations that you may not have gotten before.
Hmm. And then actually executing it. And so, how many people? Well, I know you have one fellow that follows you most of the time.
Right?
How many people are you mentoring at the moment?
One to two.
Only two?
Yeah.
Oh, look at
Yeah.
Kenneth growing
It's
up. It's
Ashley and Manasseh.
nice. And how does it feel being a mentor? Boy.
It's annoying, and I don't recommend it. You guys don't listen to nothing. It's more work than you can imagine. It's so much work to save people from themselves. You know what I mean? Hope they're not listening to this.
This is the raw deal of Kenneth. Is this how you talk to your people too that are selling houses?
Mentorship, mentorship's annoying. It's good, but it's work. Like you need you need mentorship for a reason, because it's changing behaviors,
True.
teaching discipline, teaching success principles. If
Hmm.
everyone, if it was easy to be successful, then everyone would be successful, but it's
Exactly.
not. So when you come in needing mentorship, someone with wisdom that is looking at you raw can be like, oh my god, you have a lot of work to get. Like your mind needs to, I have to really is full, and then they'll fight it, and they'll say they'll do what they're going to do, then they don't, because no one ever does. Then you have to work on it and work on it, and it's a lot, right? That's why I said you don't just take mentorship lightly, right? If
Yeah.
someone's, and when you're for the mentor, don't
Hmm.
take it lightly. And for the mentee, understand that, like, if you get the right mentor, he's going to challenge you, and he's going to push you, and he's going to just, it's not going to be easy. So
Yeah.
these guys definitely won't say it's easy to be around Kenneth. Like it's hard. Like they're always feeling like they're failing. Always. They always feel
Not
like they're not performing.
so you're the tough love one.
I'd have to say tough love, yeah. I'm tough love, but the standards are this. Okay.
Mhm.
You want to make millions? Okay.
Yeah.
Here you go. What? Well, what do you want from me? I don't get it. You like, you want to be successful? Okay,
Oh
do
my
this.
gosh.
They're like, it's just like,
People don't like doing homework, I've acknowledged. Um, but
Yes.
once they do find that discipline and the change behavior is key.
Right.
Change behavior is key.
What's the habit? People have bad habits, man.
We all have
Yeah,
bad habits.
yeah, everyone. Well, I think like I mean, I mean, everyone is wanting to go to the gym. It never happens. Why doesn't it happen? I don't know. Well, oh yeah, this year I'm gonna go to the gym every morning. I'm gonna go to the gym. Tutus like 3 months,
Like,
4 months in a year. Why haven't you gone to the gym yet?
mhm,
Well, excuses and okay, well then you're the same size that you were in January than you are in like. And did you cut out the foods you shouldn't be eating? Are you still eating all the food you shouldn't be eating? I know I tried. Okay, well, you're not going to the gym. You're not eating healthy. You have
mhm,
bad habits, and you cannot stop these bad habits. And then it's all talk. At the
mhm.
end of the year, you've only lost 2 pounds. Okay, and we all see those TV shows, right? Like little
Mhm.
doctors, like you gained weight. What? No,
I can't with you. So in a
I
sense,
go,
it
what?
is.
This is a weight loss program. I gave you instructions to lose weight. How did you gain weight? Let me sit there with their excuses. And I'm not again, it's not everyone has their vices, right? So
Yes.
everyone has their vice. So if your vice is eating and food and all the kind of stuff, I get it. It's just not other people's vices. So it's not to throw shade here, but it's just
Mhm.
it's the reality is that these behaviors, right? And sometimes everyone knows what you need to do. Doing it is a whole nother conversation. Like everyone knows how to get in shape.
Mhm.
Like everyone by this time, you can Google that. You know, I promise you, if you run every morning for like an hour and you run up hills, up and down hills, and you sweat your bucket brains out for every single like 5 days a week, 5 days a week, every single month for an entire year, and you look
Mhm.
at the weight what you were at the beginning and the
Yes.
weight at the end, and you eat healthy,
Yeah.
you will lose weight. It's a formula, actually, but
Mhm.
do we want to do it? No, not. It's all talk. So same thing in mentorship, right? Is you're changing these behaviors because and I would say it's easy, but it's hard. It's hard to change a pre-programmed behavior in you, right? So
True.
hence mentorship is not like
You saying it's
I
not for
do
everyone? Well,
no, I love doing it. So I do enjoy it. I do love doing it. I do love seeing other people, and I think it's important to give back. To give back to people who are willing to put in the work, and I think
yeah.
that I have the right people now that I'm mentoring. I've been exhausted with trying to mentor like everyone that's wanted it, and I've
Yeah.
realized that it's been a lot of wasted energy, and I've had to separate myself from a lot of individuals. But now I do
Yeah.
enjoy the mentorship because I know that it's not going to waste.
That's good. That's good. And I think just based on the webinars that I've been on and I've seen your mentees, I
Right?
do see that they look up to you and
Right.
definitely like respect what you're doing, especially since they see your well, I think Ryan from ACBN was giving you a shout out because he saw you on the bus
But
stop.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I was like, okay, okay. So I actually see individuals giving you your flowers and showing that like you mean business. So I am proud of what you're doing, even
Thank
though we
you.
were even though back in the day we were always clowning each other. But it's such a great feeling to see like what almost like 20 years after and this is what's happening. So
Right.
I'm happy to see what's happening. And even though I know you know a lot about real estate and everything, what did you wish you knew? What are the three things you wish you knew about money or personal finance when you were younger?
Um, I probably would wanted to learn about taxes
Hmm.
a lot, how that worked, and the benefits of being incorporated a lot earlier. I think that I should have been incorporated. I think 3 years before I did it.
Hmm.
I would have saved about 200 grand there. So I would I would have
Shit.
been that
Wow.
that would have been beneficial.
Yes.
Yeah, a little bit, right? So understanding the differences between a corporation,
Mm-hmm.
um, just wasting money. I think I spent a lot of money on just partying and drinking and clubbing women. Out of waste,
Oh, Johnny, your
stupid,
wife not here.
random dinners. It's just so stupid. Like, I don't know why I fed so much people. Like, you paying that? Yeah. You want a steak? Everyone wants steak and wine now. All of a sudden, like you want steak all the time.
No,
Yeah.
I want some lobster still, I'm
Yeah.
joking. I'm
Yeah.
joking. I'm joking.
Yeah,
I'm
nice
joking.
20s. No, I mean, you're a kid. You're a kid, right? It's like
Yeah.
you're just wasting money.
Mm,
So I think I would want to just to save a little bit more, to be honest, and have our money management skills. What
yes.
else? Financial.
Money management is that's a great one.
And it's
Because
time
I
management. It's just time. I mean, like we waste so much time doing things that actually don't matter. And
mm-hmm.
I was very unfocused 20-year-old. It's only like people that anyone that knows me, I was pretty unfocused for a very long time. And I think post 26, 27 is when I started to get, in my late 20s is when I started to really double down. And I really do see the a benefit of having a mature mindset earlier. I wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
change
Mm-hmm.
anything about my life at all, but I think
Yeah.
that like if I really was focusing on the things that actually mattered, which like building your wealth and stability, and just focused on progression things and not spending so much time in
Mm-hmm.
the other part of the world, like the dark world. You know what I mean? The dark world, I call it, like Vegas and like
Not
clubbing,
Vegas.
clubs, Vegas, clubbing every weekend, and just downtown every weekend, and it's fun, but it's a lot of wasted.
Energy.
And you look forward to a party every weekend. You're not, your head's not in the right game, man. Like when your biggest excitement is what you're gonna do this weekend, every
Yeah.
weekend, what's
It's
clubbing, popping next weekend. You know all the club names. You're in there with your girls. Like what? Such a waste of life, time, energy. But maturity will bring that to you. I'm now in my mid 30s, right? So I can talk like this now. But when you're
fuck.
20,
I can't believe we're almost
like when you're 20, like you do 20-year-old things, right? Like
true.
I would have
But
like, yeah.
hold on, I want to give some shout outs. There's Frequency Event Promotions. Boom Bam Bam. And I think he knows you. There's my guy, Kenneth Top Dollar
Oh,
Toppin. Brr, 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 brr. Big up Christopher. And I agree with everything you're saying. And I think the one thing, and you mentioned it earlier this summer when we unfortunately had a loss, like a big loss in
yeah, yeah,
our life, is that you had your best friend, Leonard. He was able to put you down a path of greatness, and I wanted to literally give him a shout out,
oh, respect, yes,
and
man. Great guy.
and it was,
No,
he drop kicked me once, and now he drop kicked us all, and things, right? But I'm glad that he was part of your life and
yeah,
able to help you, because I know that's what you said, that he was one of the persons that said like, "Yo, Kenneth, what are you doing? Like, get your shit together."
you know, oh, dark path, my friend. Dark
Yeah,
days. Those are the
yeah,
dark days. God is good. Yeah.
exactly, exactly. And I just want to always give a shout out and always give flowers, especially like that. But what other um projects are you doing right now? Are you an investor, or would you
You
say
investor?
like you have properties? Because I know everyone's like, "Yo, I'm a guru. I have properties here, there, and there." I'm like, okay, all right, do your thing. How many?
Yeah, yeah, I have a couple properties for
Mhm.
sure.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm definitely I'm in the development space now.
Okay. Nice.
So I'm working with the city to just do rezoning on some
Mm,
land that I have to try to just rezone it to build some
yes.
of townhouses. So now I'm trying to get into the space of building now. So that's my newest journey, right? It's a very fascinating world, right? Where it's like it's very fascinating world because I mean you can this is true, right? You can buy a property off of someone literally. Is it too
Hmm.
foggy? Hold on. My
Fog
camera.
up the place.
So you can buy a property off someone, like say
Hmm.
an acre, or let's say whatever property, and the guy is like, whatever, I'll sell it to you. My neighbor sold for 500,000, so I'll
Yeah.
sell it to you for 500,000. He's like, so perfect, whatever, you
Hmm.
buy it. But then you go to the city and you're like, this is a big property. Well,
Yeah.
what if I can put maybe 20 townhouses on this? But it's not zoned for it though. But you go
Oh,
to the
yes, yes,
city
yes.
and, hey, city, I want to do this. They're like, okay, well, we do want more housing. We do want more supply for housing, and there's a policy. So
Yeah.
you go and you're like, okay, well, they're like, all right, so put together your drawing, what you want to do, and we'll talk. You're like,
Hmm.
okay. So you get your drawings. You say we want to build 20 townhouses here,
Yeah.
and then they're like, okay, well, if you're gonna do that, you have to rezone it from only residential to, like, say, mixed use.
Mm.
Then they'll approve it. Okay, cool. Now you're allowed to do this. Here you go. But you're gonna go and sell each townhouse for like $500,000. So and times 20. So now, for example, you're in a
That's a
situation
win-win.
where, well, 500,000 times up by 20.
Yeah.
So now you're gonna gross, like, say 10 million, but you bought the thing for like 500,000 just because you rezoned it.
That's because you. Yo.
But meaning, like, the land value, like, so that
Hmm.
when you're in the development space, it's a whole other game because you're just buying property. Sometimes you're rezoning it and you're building, and it's a whole nother game, gambit outside of just selling houses. So I'm in the process now of doing this on two of my land properties, just kind of trying to rezone some fun stuff. So it's a very interesting ride. So that's what I'm doing now. Yeah,
Nice.
into
I
real estate.
can't wait to see that because I've heard about zoning. I was like it's annoying. Like I wanna put a sunroom. I'm putting it in existence. If I wanted to put a sunroom, I would have to like get a zoning. I was like, what? I was like, yo,
Right.
it's my property. Why am I have to ask for these things? But I get it. The government loves to do certain things.
It's okay.
I respect the government or the
Not me. I don't like to ask.
I mean, no, I want to have a rant session, but I'm not gonna do it yet because they screwed me
Taxes.
over recently. Oh, tax is a different story, but no, like I like that idea. Like I don't think I've heard about that idea. Like being able to buy it for 500 and then be able to rezone it and then create 20 townhomes.
No, happens all the time. It's because, remember, like, a developer's mind is different than a consumer, right?
Yes.
You're just living in your home and you look at your house,
Yeah.
like, you don't look like you're like you only know what you know. Like, you don't know certain things, right? So when you're just selling your house or your property, like, you're just like, my neighbor sold for 600, they sold for 600, they sold for 600. So they're just like, okay, well, my home is worth 600, right?
Yeah.
Even if they know they have more land than their neighbor, they may say, okay, well, give me 50 grand more because my land is bigger.
Yeah.
But if they were thinking about rezoning their property to build 30 townhouses on it, and they
Mhm.
knew that it was possible,
Yeah.
and they would say, well, hold on, like, my land is worth more because
Mhm.
I know what you can do on it,
Yeah.
right? But they don't know. They're not thinking about what they can always do on. Now, this is a very niche example, right? Most people, if they're selling, they know they have land, they know that they think about these things. But some people just Don't always, right? But
Mm-hmm.
what happens is though, if you can rezone something,
Yeah.
it's powerful. I mean, like many houses in the community, you're not allowed to put an apartment building on that lot
True.
because you can't just build an apartment building wherever you want because they have renters in the middle of the suburb community. There'll be complaints. You can't do it. You can't just build an apartment
If we
building.
call it like, what's going on here?
You can't build. You can't just put up a business in the middle of a residential area. Like
Yeah.
you can't put up a like you can't put up like a massage parlor in the middle of like a neighborhood and run a business from there because it's not zoned for it. You cannot, and that's how we have order
Mm-hmm.
communities. Like that's actually how you have order. You just cannot put certain things in certain areas because it's just not zoned for that.
Yeah.
Um,
That's
so when you get into yeah, so it's not zoned for it, right? So it's like, but imagine those like if one day someone said in your house right now, particularly on your lot, for whatever reason, your
mhm.
lot is now as of tomorrow zoned apartment, zone RC4 800, whatever. That now just means that someone's allowed to build an apartment on your lot.
That's wild.
That now means that even though your neighbors' houses are all worth six, your lot you can build an apartment. Well, if someone builds it, it'll be worth $50 million. All right, so give me 3 mil. You still make a lot of money, but give me 3 mil now. Why? Just because my land is worth more, right?
Yeah.
Because you rezone something. So it's a great lens. Yeah, it happens all the time. Or
I
sometimes what you'll do is you'll buy like I mean other bosses. It's just this and these are kind of the mindset things that I talk about, which is
mm,
people need to think about, right? Sometimes you'll see that they're building a bunch of condos on a street, and you see that they're just making their way down.
yep.
So you
Yep.
just go down the street further and just buy some crappy
Kingston.
lot. Yo, Tyler and Mo bought on Kingston.
Really?
Yeah, and
Okay.
they bought on Kingston. It's a funny example. So what happens now? You buy a little pocket there, but they know one day a developer is going to be like, "Listen, man, I want to build it. I want to make 50 million, like, and they make those big buildings are making like $100 million. They're like, listen, I want to make $100 million and you're in my way. Okay, well
Okay. I
give me
see.
15, give me 15 million and we're good. They have to give it to you because you're in the way. You're
Yeah.
just simply in the way. It's a crappy house worth 100 million, like worth maybe half a million, but they have to give it to you. They have to give
I,
it to you.
I'm glad you mentioned this because it is important for individuals to like instead of being a consumer or a homeowner is to think about these different strategies
Right.
because that I, shit I've never heard that strategy one.
Because it's a small example, and and I'm a newbie
Mhm.
in
But
the
you're still
development
learning.
space. I'm not, yeah, I'm definitely a newbie. I'm literally getting my feet wet right now. But
Yeah.
to answer your question in long-winded version, so I'm definitely real estate,
Hmm.
getting into real estate development for sure,
Yeah.
and still aspiring to be a tech fintech entrepreneur extraordinaire.
I had to
Yeah,
start doing that too in due time, in due time, you know?
it's so funny.
and and Kenneth, how can the folks find you? How can they find you? Huh?
You know what? I'm. It sounds bad, but like Instagram, like social media. It's very easy to get a hold of me.
Yeah.
If you Google my name and look to the right hand side, but where the 115 5-star Google reviews are, you'll see my number. You can always.
Watch. Yeah, watch.
I'm just perfect. What can I say? And nobody. No, I'm not perfect, but I try my best to have good customer service. I try my best to right my wrong when I'm wrong, and it's very important to me, right? So I
Yeah.
definitely like it when my people that are around me have they have good things to say about me. So I'm really appreciative of that.
Mm,
So my number is there, contact information is there. Also, you can find me on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn. I don't like LinkedIn that much, and YouTube. So pretty much
mm.
Facebook, Instagram, or it's
Guys,
called
give me a second. I'm trying. I'm trying. I think it's top dollar topping.
Top Dollar
Boom.
Toppin. Top Dollar Toppin.
And then the website. I saw the website before. It's in the show notes, But I'm struggling right now, folks. So bear with me.
Normal thing.
.com. Shut
Normal
up your mouth.
struggle is
There we
always
go. There it is.
struggle is always real.
I know, but trust me, Zoom is way worse on this. But all right, folks. So this is how you're going to be able to contact Kenneth if you want to learn more and to join his masterclass. It starts when December 2nd or
Yes,
1st. December
yes.
2nd.
And you can just it's really right on my right
Insta.
on my link. Yeah, so Instagram right on my link tree. You can
Mhm.
click it, go there, and I'm right there. And it's the link, and you can register right there.
Hooray. All right, folks. So there you have it. Kenneth, thank
Yes,
you, sir. It was I'm glad we were able to I'm glad I was able to drip you up to finally do this because we've been seeing each other so often as of late.
right.
Um
You
I
have.
guess going to networking events do work.
It does for sure.
And so thank you so much for coming on and blessing the stage and supporting. And
For
do you
sure.
want to tell the folks anything before we go?
Um, no, I would just say, I mean, I would, yeah. So I think I'll leave with my mission, which
Mhm.
is, definitely if you have it in you, and you have been, and true entrepreneurs know true entrepreneurs already know they want to be an entrepreneur. It's not something that they're just like they're really focused on doing it, like true
Mhm.
entrepreneurs. So I would say definitely look into it for sure.
Mm.
And yeah, and just understand that being taxed at 45%, it's just not it. It's just not it, right? Like I want to get as much people who are honestly willing to, if you're thinking about it, have faith in yourself, jump into entrepreneurship.
Mm.
Being taxed at 45% is a losing battle. You have to live the life of write-offs and being taxed at 15% like Donald Trump. That's it. It's true. What? 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 No, like he said it.
Ah,
That's what I
there's
knew. I like. That's what I knew. Like, yeah, I don't not like the guy. Everything.
yeah.
I'm not saying I like everything about him, but when he said that, I'm like, he's not lying.
Mm.
Like,
Well, there's different ways. Like there's as being an entrepreneur, it's about being organized and finding out the ways how to the expenses that you have throughout your business, how you can lower your taxable income, and or being an investor. I think investor is a little
it's just about being an entrepreneur, not paying tax to the government. It's ridiculous. At your risk of paying government 45% of everything that you make. What? How do you get rich paying taxes? How, like, explain this to me. Like Donald Trump, like I'm telling you, like you said it on national TV,
yeah.
and no one said nothing. The the, the Democrats, conservatives, you know what I mean? I mean the Republicans, they were
Yeah.
all looking like, yeah,
Well, damn.
you have to be like, I am on a mission to create as much entrepreneurs and to
Mhm.
get as much people who are capable away from paying 45% taxes. Do you know how much 45 bruh? It is,
Oh my
it
god.
is do you know like your life will dramatically change the
True.
minute that you make 100 grand, you
Mhm.
write off 90 grand of it, you pretty much claim that you make 10,000.
Wait, Kenneth, you can't say that because a folk that's trying to get a house.
It's a lie. It's a lie. Okay, have you ever, for example, I'm gonna spit some knowledge right now.
Shit.
It's
Oh
the
shit. Okay.
biggest, it is the biggest lie when
Mhm.
you say that you will make 100 grand as an entrepreneur, you will
Mhm.
claim, yeah, you have expenses, legitimate expenses, so you made it say 10 grand. Fine. Don't go to TD Bank. Who cares? Go to Haven Tree Bank. Huh? Haven Tree, Google it. Google Haven Tree Bank. That's only one. I can roll these banks off like water. Go to Haven Tree Bank. Haven
Mhm.
Tree Bank understands
Yeah.
flexible terms. Yeah, like you gotta
True.
go to so these so Haven Tree Bank, you know what they do? Haven
Mm.
Tree Bank says, listen, I don't care. Yeah, yeah. I know that you run a not to get into race. I know you run this. I know you run this Chinese restaurant that's cash only. You know, I get it. I know you're making $1,000, $2,000 a day, but claiming nothing. We all know what you do. But I know you want to have your home in Markham worth $2 million. I get it. Just show me what you make. Just show me your actual numbers of what you make revenue.
Yeah.
You claim what you claim. What do you actually gross? Oh, you're making 4 million a year. Okay, so I'm going to assume you don't make 10 grand a year.
Fair.
Fair. So they'll just give you a mortgage based off of your gross. But TD Bank won't do that. Scotiabank, they want to know what you actually tell the government. Right.
So there's basically with that there's options.
So with that said, this whole notion of hold on, but if I write off all my expenses, I can't buy a house.
Yeah. No.
There is no getting around this. There is no benefit to being taxed at 45%. So this whole notion of financial growth and getting rich and all this kind of stuff, if you're going to be talking about getting rich and building wealth and all kind of stuff, then you would want to work on not being taxed at 45%. Listen, if Remax came to me today and tried to take like even 10% of my money, I'd leave. I'd be like, excuse me, how much? I'm out. Thank you. I'm good. 10%. 45? Nah, bro. I'll pass. You got
I'm done with
it. But this is the thing. This is the thing, right? It's like but the reality is that entrepreneurship is just so hard for many people because of the behaviors.
Correct.
The amount of intelligent people and capable people and sophisticated people that I know are so intelligent. Like it is not an entrepreneur. It's not an intelligence game. It's more of a behavior game, right? And if you have the intelligence but bad behaviors, you're still going to fail. So many entrepreneurs, they fail. So you're better off in the corporate world being salaried and then saving your money in the right way, retirement, and that's fine. It works. It's not that it doesn't work. It works. But if you do, this is an entrepreneurship conversation. If that's what you want to do and you want to be inspired to do that, then the aspiration should be, yes, go and do it. Why? Because you'll have amazing tax savings of not 45%. I don't like no, it's crazy.
True. And I mean,
this is in Canada. This is a Canadian thing. Like this is like a problem that in other countries it's not that deep, right? It's just a Canadian thing, and that's why we're all struggling. Like it's hard to live when they're taking so much of your money,
45%,
and spending it on nonsense.
Trust me. But
no.
And I'm glad that you're talking about the taxes, because, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to get your taxes done, just put yes in the chat. I'm joking. I don't want to say it like that because I don't want someone to say you're copying.
Understanding like being incorporated and
yes,
the difference between a sole proprietorship and being incorporated. You have to understand this type of stuff. Yeah.
Because didn't they just lately that real estate agents are able to be incorporated?
Yes, exactly.
So that was I'm pretty sure that was a game changer for you, because
it was a game changer,
I seen it like as self-employed, someone self-employed and in real estate.
Even now I see people that are self-employed, but the problem is like if you're self-employed, but you spend all your money still on your personal stuff, it won't matter because you're still going to pay taxes either. I won't get complicated here, but the idea is this is a financial call, but it's important to like you have to understand corporations and tax savings within your corporations and trust companies and holding companies and the benefits of all that kind of stuff and LLCs and how do you pass your homes down to your kids without them paying an arm and a leg in taxes. A lot of stuff. So I'm actually having a webinar on December the 9th I am actually. December the 9th.
I
It's with
haven't
an
seen that email.
accountant. It's with I haven't seen this coming out soon. It's about taxes, home ownership. Like, why should your kids pay a bunch of like taxes when you die?
Yeah,
Crazy.
yeah.
Nobody wants.
Actually, I
I'm
remember the
anti.
webinar you did.
I'm anti. I'm anti-government. I'm
Yes.
anti-tax. I'm anti them up in our business. I'm against it. Now
Yeah.
we have to pay to Caesar what we owe to Caesar. I get that whole. I get the scriptures. I get it. But you have way too many people.
Mm.
Do you know you have people that are making like $500,000 a year that are paying less than taxes than people that are making like $100,000 salary? I said
Yep.
again, there's
I
people
see it.
making $500,000 a year that are paying less taxes than people making $100,000 salary.
I've personally seen
If
it.
this doesn't make you look at your life and be like, what? This is like should be criminal. But they never taught us this stuff. They just never
Mhm.
taught us this. They only teach other people this stuff. So they know about LLCs and corporations and trust companies and all this stuff. And while we're here working away,
Yeah.
looking at our check, like what's going on here? And we're feeling it now. We're looking back at high school, like, yo, like, what's going on here about this life lessons you gave us? Hold on here. You know what I mean? Like, I'm getting rallied up here, but at some point in time, when do we look back and say they lied to us, like about the path the optimal path?
Mm-hmm.
Then we have kids now that are talking about we have the biggest entrepreneurship spirited kids in history.
Yeah.
They all want to do something other than go to school. Why? Because they're seeing Ryan on TV opening up toys, making millions. Ryan, and his parents are running around like even they understand it's a lie. Like this whole system is just they've lied to us their entire career. Like we've all done the right. We said what they said. We said go to school, get a
Mm-hmm.
degree, get salaried, do all these things. You still can't buy a damn house in the city.
It's wild.
They're taking all your tax money, spending it on nonsense. You can't get ahead. It's like a slippery slope, man. It's like so. I want to save. I want to save people. I want to save a group.
Yes.
I just want to come in and just save. And it's been, all right, guys. Listen, if you got the gift,
Mm-hmm.
you're intelligent. If you have
Yeah.
people like, man, if you saw people that were making money, like if you have the gift to do it and you have the brains to do it,
Yeah.
and you know that you're a top performer, it's only worse for top performers, by the way, right? Certain people just know if you're a top performer because you've been that way your entire life
Mm-hmm.
for companies,
Yeah.
right? But if you've been a bottom performer your entire life, you're going to be a bottom performer in entrepreneurship. But if you're a top performer, you know you can do it, then just quit and just be an entrepreneur and get a coach, get a mentor, get a guider, and just jump into it, make your own money, and more of your money, and have your freedom. If that's what you want to do. But I'm on a mission to get people out of this. Is crazy. But this school, they should be sued. The school system for what they've done to us. Like this. I'm like, they've like,
Oh my gosh.
like one kid is gonna take like he's gonna take some degree is like I'm like some sort of like art sociology and what are you still pushing this stuff? No. Are they still pushing this? This is a rant now, by the way. This can't
No
be.
worries, by all means.
Come on, are they still pushing these random degrees? Like, and some degree they get, like if you're doing marketing, accounting, and the finances, like that's never going to be still. But they're still pushing. They're still allowing kids to go into OSAP debt on these degrees. Like at some point in time, we got to step in and be like, the system is
Crazy.
crazy. You know what I mean? And even if you have a side hustle, even that.
Yeah.
Keep your job, fine. Find a way to make money on the side taxed at 15% after write-offs. Your life cannot continue just being taxed at 45%. You have to find a way to make more money.
But I also want them to be organized when they're doing it. Because trust me, as someone that does bookkeeping and taxes, it's absolutely wild. Like how people want to jump
I
in.
think bookkeeping matters, but guess
Tell
what?
them again, please.
They-
Wait. Tell them again, please. I just need to see.
Bookkeeping matters. Knowing your numbers matter. But guess what? 100% of nothing is still nothing. You know what I mean? If you don't jump in, there are so many ways to make 100 grand. I'm talking about there are so many ways to make. There's a guy that just sells those stupid trees that have a scent. You know what I mean? Like he makes $1 million a year. I know the guy. All he does is delivers those little stupid tree scent that don't smell like anything after a week. Those cheap little things for $1. He makes $1 million. Has a little he makes them $1 million. There's so much ways to make 6 figures like part-time.
Yeah.
If you put your mind to it, that will get you out of the rut of this economy, this crappy economy. That you don't...
This fellow, ladies and gentlemen, this side,
you cannot live. Like you got rented. I love it. Our economy. Look at what rent is.
Crazy.
Look at what housing is. If you haven't gotten in, look at the fact that you've done all the right things. You have your degree. You're making 100 grand. You still will only qualify for $500,000, making 100 grand, and $500,000 can't even get you a damn condo. So if this doesn't tell you that this whole system is messed, right? And the only way to get out of the hump, this bubble here, is to literally make more money, which means you just have to have your salary job fine, but you have to find a side hustle just so you can breathe in this crazy economy. And it's gonna get worse. You know what I mean? And 10-year-olds are making millions. Kidding me, Ryan? That's Opens Toys.
So, folks, we want to figure out. Well, go to Kenneth's webinar on December 9th. And no worries. And let's figure out how to make that 100K that he's talking about and not be in the 45%.
Try your best.
On that, folks, make sure you like, subscribe, comment on Kenneth's rant. But it was good because obviously this is like
I'm passionate. No, honestly, I want to. My IG profile has even changed to like creating entrepreneurs.
Yeah, I've seen it.
I just want to create more entrepreneurs. I just want to create more entrepreneurs. Like, but build through real estate, obviously, as well. But that's more. I'm big on that. Cool.
All right, folks. On that note.
Financial literacy, knowledge is a must. So link the flip boss, watch the result flash, and watch your life change and for your better cause. You have a business or a plan and want to make it. Yeah, flip and floss, are they want to manifest it. Yeah, and if you want to better manage all your credit, call the boss. Flip and floss, no doubt, then we do it. Yeah, flip and floss, money literacy boss. Yeah, greatness in our blood because we're working for your cause. Flip and floss, money literacy boss. Yeah, boots up your knowledge for your minimal cost. Hey, yeah, flip and floss, money literacy boss. Greatness in our blood because we're working for your cause. Flip and floss, money literacy boss. Yeah, up.